a taste of paradise, testing the waters, and I'm hearing the chariot in my mind. Someone is making their way towards their paradise. One of the most sexiest qualities about the divine masculine energy is that he operates in his divine truth. He's so unwavering in his devotion to his divine truth. He recognizes all that is out of alignment will fall away from his path, and he has full confidence that all, who and what, everything that is in alignment will find him, or he will be divinely guided to. Okay, he's a leader. He knows that he's here for those who he's here for. Okay, divine masculine energy within, such strength and power, right, within his choices and his actions. Now, as this energy that is moving towards their paradise, they need to be very mindful who is in the driving seat, because the question is it a 3-year-old in the driving seat? Because if it was, what would they do? Okay. The ages of 3 to 7 is when your subconscious programming is occurring. Whatever is happening around you is really shaping what's happening within, okay? And that determines your choices and your behaviors for pretty much the rest of your life, unless you become conscious about these choices. It's time to become intentional with the actions that someone is taking. Like I say, the divine masculine energy does not seek approval, does not search for external validation, is not a people pleaser, has healthy boundaries, recognizes his value. How do you take the reins or the wheel or whatever it is from that 3-year-old? You, with so much compassion, tenderness, love, gently speak to your inner child, that little boy or girl, whatever, that little one. You speak to them and you tell them that it's my turn to take this now. You can trust me, right? To protect us and get us there safely. Okay, and how do you even trust yourself? You really learn how to love yourself properly. And how do you do that? You are disciplined with the choices you are making, because you're now choosing what is good for your soul. You're having faith in your decision making. You're recognizing when it's out of alignment, when you are. And this is how you're building trust in yourself. This is how your little inner child is learning to trust you as well, because you're recognizing the ways in which your inner child, who was taking those reins or whatever, is actually not operating in the intention of the adult self now, right? Yeah, someone said I said people pleasing with the 5 of Wands. Unfortunately, somebody feels like has cared a lot about external influences and opinions. And that again is a very wounded energy, search for external validation, that divine energy within, you know your truth, you operate in that, it's your integrity, and you're unwavering in that. No one sways you, because you know it's your divine truth. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, Knight of Wands. Talk about, they've massively been led by external influences. And this is what I mean. They're seeing their paradise, but how much are they impulsively moving towards that? How much are they then going to run if things get too heavy or there's too much external opinion and, whatever. It doesn't suit the external according to their own mind and brain. If you're choosing what's good for your soul, the people who truly love you will respect that and appreciate that of you. If you have friends or whoever around you, there's a need to really evaluate, and maybe this is what somebody has been doing, evaluating their environment and how much it's actually feeding them and not just something they've got comfortable in and used to, just because it is validating them and their ego, massively, their inner child, right, who probably didn't get that validation when they were younger, who has that stored in them still, that they still really need to process. King of Swords, massively denying their own truth here, somebody massively. It's like it's being kept as a secret, like a hidden guilty pleasure. This is why it's like really being mindful of who is in that driving seat. It doesn't matter what your adult body or whatever looks like. It's the fact that within you, there's still that inner child leading. Right? And that's what's been happening a lot. I'm seeing like intoxication. Someone's really been influenced by the voices they've been hearing and the behaviors around them as well. And it's so sad because it's the Tower. It's so sad because it's completely obliterated their truth, which is constantly going to obliterate their life in terms of the cycles that they're going through, because they're not operating in their truth. That's another thing with integrity. You operate in truth. You honour your heart. And why is it then that if your paradise is so discontent with your environment currently, like, where's that? How does that happen? How has that happened? There's some kind of untruth there. Something that's not true. Three of Cups. Oh my God. Either you've been speaking, I'm hearing specifically speaking ill of your paradise now that you see as paradise, or your current environment is so out of alignment with your truth that it's just, there'd be opposites. You know, because your paradise is you moving towards your soul's truth, the Hanged Man. This has been going on for such a long time. But I think someone's been gaining new perspective. Well, let's hope so. Let's just see what happens. Three of Cups. They've operated in all of these destructive ways. And truly, I think it's just perpetuated the wounding within them. This is really sad because I think that they're actually at an elder age now. I think this has been happening from a younger age is what I'm hearing, seeing here. This has been going on for a long time. I'm seeing a lot of sexual energy, you know, just as I said, that turned over the Page of Wands as well. I love sexual energy, 100%. And that can be difficult to hear sometimes if this is like someone connected to you. But again, you have to remember these are their cycles that they need to clear through. This is their healing that they need to take place in. And you know what? You get to focus during them what you are worthy of, what you do deserve. Yeah? Not the little, Seven of Cups with the Knight of Wands, yeah. Just confirming what I said. There's a lot of like unhealthy behaviours being taken place here. I say unhealthy, behaviours that are not good for the soul but massively been feeding their ego. And I think someone themselves I think there's this energy of feeling trapped. Oh my God, Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, trapped in their own decisions. It's like they took it too far is what has just come through. They've taken a lot too lightly, even though deeply within them it was wounding them, or just continuing to build on their existing wounds. With this Tower though, I feel like something is taking place in their life right now. And that's why suddenly their paradise is looking even more beautiful than ever before. I'm seeing a lot of intoxication in this energy. Whatever somebody could do to get away from their own facing themselves, truly, their emotions, what was beneath the surface, they took it, whatever it was. And it was destructive. They were just allowing themselves to, I'm hearing they'd created a deceptive cycle. And it wasn't just with themselves, it was with whoever they were connecting to, okay? The Hierophant. That's a good energy. Let's see. I think that they're seeing things differently. I think they're understanding that the effect that they've had, the implications of their actions, in a way that they haven't done before. They might be talking to somebody. Yeah, look at this. The Knight of Cups now. Oh my God, the Empress. I don't know. Oh my God, the Chariot. This is what was coming out before the reading. I was hearing the Chariot. They want to have a new beginning. With this Knight of Cups, I really wonder, though, I did mention that they're going through something destructive. Well, they have maybe, but they really need to be mindful of, with the Knight of Cups, are they going in with selfish tendencies? Is it just to make them feel better? Or is it truly that they're recognizing that they need to show up in a certain way? Not just these masks, not this, I have a feeling this is somebody who really needs to, because they haven't faced themselves, they haven't put on their true face when facing this Empress, right? There's been so much in the mix. Okay, with the Nine of Swords, I think that they're very aware of this. I just got a notification and it really threw me off. So maybe that's something that you're going to get something coming through and it's not going to be completely unexpected. Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I think somebody's really stressed about the choices they made and who and what they've allowed around them, including the way they've been acting, the way they're I'm telling you, there's been something, there's like, I'm feeling the anxiety, but there's also that sexual energy. It doesn't feel like sexual and passionate and pleasurable. It feels really it feels heavy, and feels like just some kind of, maybe it's shame, because that's usually what's stored in this Svadhisthana chakra, okay? But yeah, someone's really thinking a lot about how they've reacted, they've behaved here, and I still think there's a part of them that doesn't fully see how it's been their choices, like how their choices have created this. Though they know that it's like they need to take that accountability, there's a part of them still that an Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck as well. So they want to move towards, I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles on the, getting a lot of really grounded earthy energy from this feminine energy specifically that's coming through. Five of Cups here, you know, this feminine energy has been leveling up. She's been transitioning, right? Truly. I mean, going from Page to the Queen of Pentacles here, she's been focused on herself. She's understanding her worth. That is divine energy, knowing your worth. I'm not talking about arrogance. I'm talking, again, that's ego. I'm talking about from the soul. She's recognizing why she's worthy of making those decisions that are good for her soul. She's recognizing her value. That's something that is vital to understanding how to choose what is good for you, right? And someone's in massive regret. This has been, I feel like this is like a serious, like, realization to their higher self is now, and they're understanding how their higher self has been guiding them this entire time, and they've just not listened time and time again. The Star, Ace of Cups. Someone wants to really heal this destructive energy that they created with this Empress is really what I'm getting here. Oh my God, the Lovers as well. Then the Queen of Wands again. It's about being mindful that someone's not being led by destructive energy, lustful energy, which suggests that they've led to a lot of destruction. That's probably what it was. You know, it's come for a lot. Eight of Cups, they walked away from this Empress speedily. 10 of Pentacles. I mean, if I'm seeing what's happening here, I think that they took the easy route out, which means that whoever this energy, it's divine feminine energy, this Empress energy, again, energies, not genders, they deserve an apology at the least, if someone wants to come through. King of Wands as well there. Oh, the Devil is turned over. Oh my God. Someone's had a lot of addictions. It's no wonder they've had to stay away. I mean, I say they've had to, but I think that they've been divinely, this is like a divine orchestration. 9 of Wands, they are facing themselves. They're facing their truth. They've been so guarded, so guarded. It's like they haven't had boundaries. Like I say, they've not had healthy boundaries. They've had barriers up. King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Queen of Cups just come out. I think that now they're very much fantasizing about this Queen of Cups. The Empress, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. These are beautiful. There's a card here turned over as well. Yeah, someone's by themselves very much, I say, fantasizing about this energy. They're really reminiscing in a way. I say reminiscing. I think that they're just... I think they're seeing who this energy has become, and they want this. But again, is it because they're suddenly they're feeling this upheaval of a destructive energy or whatever it is? Or is it genuinely, they're finally recognizing, you know, the moon, they're finally seeing what's been the shadow here within them, you know, that needs to be faced. Pluto energies, Scorpio energies, okay, wow. I think that they're finally realizing what this connection was, is what I'm hearing, and how guarded they were, which suggests how wounded they were. 6 of Cups. They're reminiscing as well. Queen of Swords. Sorry. Queen of Swords, yeah. I think that both of you honestly played a part in being very guarded to each other in terms of your true emotions. True emotions were not out there. Look at that, the 10. Oh no, the Wheel. For some reason I thought it was a 10 of Swords. The Wheel. Okay, things are changing here. And it is, I do feel like there's like this, it's like the heart is trying to be more involved here. Someone's really trying to operate from their heart, but they're also recognizing the destruction of the heart that has taken place, and they don't want that to continue in their new cycles moving forwards, okay? Justice, yes, this is exactly it, coming out with the Empress as well. This Empress is needing justice, or they feel they need to bring this Empress justice, which suggests that their movement forwards needs to be honourable. You know, King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. Not just kind of, again, not self-focused, not, you know what? they'll be guided in what they need to do, because whatever happens next needs to happen in the way that it does. As for this Empress energy, there's this really, she's holding herself in her worth, and she needs to continue to do that, right? Because I think that in her doing that, she's actually showing somebody what it means to be in your divine self. You know, no one's perfect, of course not. Heart to heart conversations, heart to heart. You can only be heart to heart when you're your intention, again, that word, how are you being intentional? Is it your 3-year-old now, or every accumulated trauma since that age that has is driving you, right? Or is it this more intentional space that you're in now, right? Again, you might not get it perfect, but at least you're trying, and say, you know, you want to try and have that conversation. The heart to heart is being honest about what's been happening. Someone was so cut off from their own heart space that they didn't even know how to love themselves. So they just carried on through really destructive tendencies, but also who and what was around them. They were aligning with really, and it's, you know, it's not anyone else's fault. It's about the choices they were making and the frequency they were on that was aligning them with this trust. This situation is asking for you to hold faith, forgiving and learning. When you're wearing masks, you're going to align with those who are in alignment with the frequency of your masks, not your divine truth, not your true face. Okay, and that's what's been happening, and someone's regretful of that. You're going to get the versions of people who are in alignment with that as well, right? Retreat, disconnecting from the environment, from the external. They massively need to do that. They need to really and I don't, you know, regardless of who the people are around them, whatever their intentions are, they need to ask themselves, how much are they in a people-pleasing tendencies and needing external and outsourcing validation, and ask themselves the reason for that. Really, you know, understand their shadow side. Everyone's got dark and light, of course, because that's where your heart is going to be operating from, and you get to choose how you do that. Of course it is true love, divine connection. It's a divine connection. That's why there's so much deep healing, and you're showing each other worth waiting for who you could be. You're showing each other who you could be and who you don't want to be. I think someone's understanding how to connect to their inner divine feminine energy better, and in doing so, they're recognizing how they have. I've specifically heard emotionally manipulated, so maybe they feel like they've acted in that way, like emotionally manipulated somebody. I'm hearing that maybe they strung someone along, if that's the right term, or, you know, breadcrumbs as well. I've just heard separation at the bottom of the deck. Keep an open mind. Okay, so it's coming through clearly that their environment is very different to who they want to move towards, and it's not their usual type. I don't like that word, but if you know, they've got a type, whatever it is, it's not this person. And for some reason in their mind, this is a big part of the separation. You were so different. I just want to make it clear that in divine connections, right, whether you resonate with twin flame, divine counterpart, you're teaching yourselves and the entire world that we are all one. That's one of the biggest things that you're doing. So it's not about differences, it's about celebrating differences, it's about recognizing that actually there's so much beauty in that. We get to bring all these different colours of the wheel together and create something wonderful, right? And if your paradise is this person and the people in your life wouldn't approve, first of all, have you been speaking, like I say, ill of your paradise, or are they actually part of your paradise? Right? I'm not saying things can't coexist. I think they actually very much can. But the truth is, you know, there's just something here that just feels really strange and off. Like, why is there so much external influence happening? What's going on, right? Worth waiting for. Again, divine timing is at play here, right? So I don't know if someone actually overthinks in their own mind and then creating a mountain out of a molehill with this, you know, this is what they need to kind of heal. But again, it's their inner child. That's kind of like soul connections. Maybe they have had soul connections in the past, or they currently have soul connections around them, right? And they're wondering what's the easier route. They're on a divine journey. They need to really face themselves. It's safe for you to love. You are soul connected, soul deeply connected, actually, as well. you know how to create a safe space with each other. Once you begin to have these heart-to-heart conversations, build that foundation of trust. It's really needed. Disconnect from everyone, anything that is trying to mislead you away from your, not even about you or the person. It's about you within yourself. What is your truth? It's time. That's what the beauty of this connection is. You're being aligned with your high, like your, I was going to say your highest kind of, not self, but like purpose and being, right? By like connecting to each other and activating each other like this. So what is in alignment with that? Passion. There's a lot of passion. Been getting that energy. Just be mindful of letting that lead. This is the one. Let's see what we can expect. What guidance you need. Somebody needs. The answers you need are coming. That's going to be in the heart-to-heart conversations. Again, honesty. I do feel like divine justice is coming in heavy, and it comes with whatever someone's currently going through, okay? Your dreams need a practical plan. Again, that's giving that paradise energy. Somebody's no longer just seeing it as some like, you know, castle in the sky, like some kind of fantasy or dream. They're recognizing that they need to bring this into a reality, and everything that has been stopping them is everything that, you know, the stress they've been having here. They've still been operating from that, taking actions from that inner child self. They can change that. And it doesn't have to be harsh. It's from the heart. If you are staying in your heart and operating with your soul expression, you know, not to hurt anybody, but to love yourself, yeah, with pure intentions, then that's all that matters. If other people don't understand that, then I don't know, that's a question you need to ask yourself about them. You are good enough. You are good enough. Somebody, that's one of the reasons why they've been so people-pleasing and validating or needing external validation. Maybe they have been validating. That's the wrong people. With their energy and attention needs to be on their divine person, they were outsourcing, externally validating other people. Clearly, they see this empress on a pedestal, and they didn't understand how she was treating herself. You know, I said you have to recognize your worth to truly make those choices that are good for your soul. They weren't doing that, so they didn't understand how she was doing that. She has learned to know her worth. She's gone from page to Queen of Pentacles. She's had to learn how to transition. She's accessed her shadow self with the moon here as well. This is somebody who hadn't. They're learning that they're good enough. Good, they need to. You know, if they're on a divine journey, they have a powerful purpose here. They're powerful. A fiery climax approaches. A win-win outcome. I just seem, you know, be mindful again of that passion. If you're leading with that, that's not going to... you don't want that destruction again, right? The wheel is turning. It's time to change things, okay? Confidence is your key to success. Yeah, someone isn't feeling confident. That's why they've been so guarded, you know, and that's why they're really regretful that they put themselves in a position where they feel like they're cut off from this feminine energy now, right? I'm seeing a lot of I'm hearing progress. This card just flew nearly halfway across the room. Don't let the past hold you back. This is what someone's been doing. It's like they've been just wanting to toss the past away and just like not even deal with it. You not take accountability for their actions and their choices. Lot of green here. Lots of heart chakra. Anahata chakra, okay. We've got Gemini, Taurus, Virgo, Leo, Aries energies coming through, okay, important for you, the people involved. Okay, let's just see if there's anything else that wants to come through for you. Hold your vision. Yeah, that's your paradise. You both have a very similar vision. You both have the same kind of ideal of what paradise is, but there's something here that needs to be cleared, and it's really asking for you to have trust. I'm feeling this like the heart is expanding right now, and someone's really in a vulnerable position. They're really mindful of that as well. Nothing will come of this situation, yeah. So whatever is currently being experienced, where there's just like this external, I feel like this interference. It's taken a little while for somebody to recognize that's what it is, you know. Nothing's going to come of the external energies. I think you both need to be mindful of that as well, actually, because you might hold, even for feminine energy, you might be holding that against somebody, and like, don't do that, because it's not healthy for you, number one, and number two, even if that's in the picture, then you know what you deserve better. So you gracefully bow out, get on with what you need to get on with, right? Not even bow out like that, just like stay in your alignment, you know. If you're in contact with someone, then that's fine, but healthy boundaries, knowing your worth, They need to know your worth. Both of you need to know your own worth and each other's. It's time to release negativity. Scorpio energy there, okay? A win-win outcome again. Libra energy at the bottom of the deck, okay? There is something really deep about this soul connection. I think that's the one thing that's pulling somebody back constantly to this paradise energy. By both of you, this soul connection. No one and nothing can know. I don't think you've ever experienced, understandably, so like that divine counterpart, twin flame kind of connection. No one has understood or felt like you to have with each other, you know. I'm seeing like looking into each other's eyes, so maybe there's something really, it's like unspoken. You don't even need to speak words, and you just feel it's like electricity, you know. There's just something that connects you both. That's how it feels, which makes sense. It's not even that you're magnets to each other, you are one, right? So you've got to be able to uphold that frequency, okay? Okay, sorceress blossoming. So there is this kind of new intention that wants to come through, okay? And then it's going to be kind of like, how are you working on bringing that through? Gali, endings and beginnings. The wheel. Honor the endings for new beginnings to take place. Boundaries at the bottom of the deck as well there, okay? Ishtar. Ancient Egypt could be really important here, okay? Lakshmi, bright future. This has a beautiful bright future ahead, right? Relax, everything's going to be fine is what it says. That's because you have to be very intentional with what you are creating, not looking at the past and with the destruction of the past or whatever. It's all about focusing on your future vision now, moving forward. That is so important for both of you. Clearing out what needs to be cleared out, you know. It's not just like you forget the past. It needs to clearly be these honest conversations, heart-to-heart conversations. Being honest about your feelings is going to be paramount. But that's what's going to create that foundation where you can now create trust, Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. Love yourself. Oh my God, and true love at the bottom of the deck. Of course it is. That's my divine connection card as well. So love yourself and everybody else, no matter what the appearance is, you know. That's really interesting. Medicine woman. You are literally going through a healing right now of some kind of, there's like this ending taking place, and I think it could be a personal ending within someone's life right now, but also this connection is going to be renewed into a whole new phase, past life connection. Of course it is. It feels like there's some kind of past life healing taking place as well, but again, that's why you don't let that past hold you back. This is about you doing things from your divine selves now. You're doing things right this time, right? And that can only happen when you come together with honesty. And also this is energy of kind of surrendering as well to how it's unfolding, having trust and faith that you are both doing what you both need to be doing. The soul connection will always be there. The passion will always be there. Nothing's going to come of these negative kind of viewpoints, the stress that someone's going through, you know, whatever they've experienced in the past that they're just allowing to hold them back. Nothing's going to come of that. Then the sooner they realise that, the sooner this movement can take place and the sooner this justice can come through, because there's some deep healing taking place right now, truly. And it comes from a lot of truly embedded, painful wounds that someone has circulated again and again. And I think that they've really felt it with their person. They really have. They felt it with this divine feminine energy, because they're finally realising what they've lost based off what they chose. And they're getting real about their intentions now moving forwards. This is just the beginning. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into your reality. This is a really important message. Divine masculine energy right now is really working on their worth. There's going to be a new path forwards where you're both going to really have these. They're going to be conversations that no one will know about. It's just going to be you two, and it's going to be so intimate, right? It doesn't have to be face to face. It can be on the phone, right? Mindful of that passionate energy. But you're both going to really decide on how to work on moving this forward so you can truly create this steady foundation where there's balance, right? Where you're honouring the higher awakenings that you've both been going through. Truly, there's been some deep awakenings, right? And you're going to honour that moving forwards, okay? But it has been worth waiting for, and it always will be, right? But I'm talking lifetimes here. You're going to be clearing through some there's transformation taking place. It also feels like this divine feminine energy actually walked away from being the third person or being in a third party situation. She recognised that her worth, or she was on the process, the journey of recognising that. That is so important that she did that. And because now this is why she's been transitioning. She's seeing that future version of herself, regardless of anyone else around her, including her person. She's looking at herself now. She needs to. She's valuing herself. This is really teaching her person that actually how they acted was out of hand completely. And the choices they made, they were blinded to their own shadow, and they're really beginning to see this. It's becoming clearer. This is why this energy, this endings and beginnings, something needs to be released so the new can begin, right? And the new is what someone is truly focused on now. right? And I think they're going. I'll just keep hearing like a deep clean, deep cleanse within their soul, of their soul, truly. Okay, so it's a big turn of the wheel. Okay, stay in your power, divine feminine. Remember your worth. Okay, you can stay in that heart space. You know, you don't have to respond or speak from a hurtful place. It's just about saying, you know what, this is my truth. The important thing to remember is it is safe for you to love and trust. This is both of you are going to create a foundation now where you both truly have a foundation of it's so secure because you're both creating that together. You're ensuring that you both feel safe, that you both can trust each other. You're understanding where in the past you completely felt the opposite, right? So you can really, because this is how you've been correcting your behavior, or somebody currently is definitely as well. Deep healing again, you know, is happening. In order to move forwards. So the focus truly is going to be more aligned. Yeah, and that's when the passion can come through, when you lead with your heart space and your truth. Remember, divine truth is going to lead to divine love. Again, keep an open mind however this unfolds, because I don't think either of you are who you were when you first interacted. In a beautiful way, you've been healing, okay? Someone finally is stepping into that as well, okay? This situation is already resolved. Of course it is. There's so much beautiful energy moving forwards. You can see it in these cards, but right about now there's a cycle that needs to close out, that needs to be addressed first and foremost in order for you both then to move forwards, okay? It's really beautiful, but it's all about how you're honouring and being intentional with your healing now, taking those reins back from that inner child. There's something here about jealousy that's really important because it can send you both spiraling. This is why you need to have those honest conversations, recognize what your vulnerabilities are and be honest with each other, how you feel because of whatever's, you know, taking place around you, and honor that in each other. You don't need to, it's not about judging, it's about being compassionate and recognizing actually they're mirroring something in you, because I can see this is a two-way thing. So there's a karmic clearing and you're both doing it together this time, okay? DM me or follow the link for one-to-ones, okay? Sending so much love.